Hi everyone, this is Robin Bates, and in this video I am going to talk about good sleep hygiene. I think it's really important because I feel like when a lot of you move into middle school, your sleep patterns start to change and your emotions start to change and the things that you're anxious about starts to change, and all that's a recipe for a need for some good sleep hygiene. Okay? And I hear a lot of you on Monday mornings check in, but that you are not getting enough sleep. So I'm going to give you 12 tips, and I want you to write them down because I want you to pick 2 that you think would be realistic for you to practice over the next week. And if you'd like to, maybe switch to another 2 and see if you can try, a majority of these at some point and see how they work. Okay, so you're going to need a pencil and a piece of paper so that you can write them all down so you can pick them. Okay, so you can pause here if you don't have that. If not, let's keep going. Number 1, stick to a schedule. Stick to a schedule. That's very important because if you go to bed around the same time every night and get up around the same time every morning, you're starting to train your brain. Anything you do in a pattern, brains love patterns. And they'll go ahead and anticipate and already start preparing for what your brain thinks you're gonna do because you do it the same time every day. Very, very powerful tool. Even on the weekends, it's tempting to sleep in really late or stay up really late. And sometimes we do, But generally, if you can keep within the same schedule, the easier or the better you do that, the more effective this is. Number 2, bedtime routine. So just write bedtime routine. This is about having a little, again, brains like patterns. So having a little set of things that you do in order before you go to bed. So maybe it's you put some cozy PJs on, then you turn some music on, then you say goodnight to someone, then you read for a few minutes and you go to bed, right? So some sort of pattern. For me, I always fill a glass of water and I put it on my nightstand. And I don't even really drink much of it. It's just to have a little sip before I go to bed. And then sometimes when I wake up, I'm thirsty. So I have something right there. And I do it so much that I guarantee you if I did it in the middle of the day, I would start to feel sleepy. Because neurons in your brain that fire together, wire together. So things that you do with other things tend to create patterns in your brain, and your brain will associate them together. Number 3, write down, don't eat or drink a lot before going to bed. So we're eating so that we can fuel up for activity. When we're going to bed, we want to slow down. We want to get everything turned down. So you can see where it's hard to kind of slow down and gear up at the same time. So it's best to eat your dinner at least 2 hours before you go to bed. That's hard sometimes. It's challenging, right? With activities and homework and everything. So you just do your best. Okay, number 4, avoid caffeine. So I know a lot of you probably aren't drinking coffee at this point. Maybe you are, but sodas have caffeine. Even dark chocolate has caffeine. And caffeine stays in your system for longer than you think. A lot of times we think, well, you have a Coca-Cola, there's caffeine in your system and it's gone in 20 minutes. It's actually not. It lingers on for a few hours and it can disrupt your sleep. Number 5, exercise. Now, if you're exercising, so write down exercise. Number 4, just write down, don't eat or drink a lot before bed. Number 5, write down exercise. So if you're exercising to help yourself sleep, it's best to exercise in the afternoon because that way you're releasing all that extra energy and all those extra calories that are still stored up in there, or maybe that tension that's in your muscles, and you're letting that go. And it makes it easier to relax at night. And that's any sports activity or a nice long walk or a hike or maybe dancing in your house. Number 6, this is one you may not know. Keep your room cool. So when we fall asleep, so write down, keep your room cool. When we fall asleep, our body temperature goes down. It cools down. And so naturally, the earth cools, or your area cools down too with your body. So if your room is heating up as you're trying to cool down, you can see where you can have trouble sleeping. You probably all know, I don't know if you've had like a hot night in the summertime where your room is like blazing hot, and how hard is it to go to sleep when it's like that? So cooling it down could include fans, maybe you're cracking a window, maybe you have air conditioning, you can bring it down a couple notches. There's lots of different ways to even just create movement. Maybe you take your blankets off, cool it down for your body. Okay, number 7, this is a tough one, but sleep primarily at night. So, right, sleep mostly at night, or sleep primarily at night. Write that down for number 7. That means try to avoid long, hefty daytime naps, because what they do is they throw off your sleep schedule. They take from your nighttime sleep. So if you're really sleepy, try to move around and keep yourself awake until you can get close to your bedtime, and then you'll have a nice deep sleep. Number 8, keep it dark and quiet and no screens. Have any of you heard that phrase before? No screens. Keep it dark and quiet. So write that next to number 8. Dark and quiet, no screens. So that means turning your lamps off. Maybe you have a soft night light, or you crack your door a little so a little light can come in, but try to keep it as dark as you can. And keep your screen off. Try to turn your screen off at least an hour before you go to bed, because screens simulate daytime light for your brain. So your screens tell your brain, oh, it's daytime. It's not time to go to sleep. So it doesn't allow those really good enzymes and chemicals to come down and tell the rest of your body to go to sleep. So it kind of creates a little barrier, and it makes you go to sleep later than you would. Number 9. This is another hard one. Use your bed only for sleep. So write that down. Use bed only for sleep. So that means that you don't do your homework or your artwork or your phone calls or your screen time. Don't do that in your bed. Have your bed only for sleep. Okay? So if you go to bed, and this also means if you go to bed and you feel tired, turn out the lights. If you don't fall asleep in 30 minutes, go ahead and get out of bed to do a gentle calming activity. So let's say you're in bed, you can't sleep. You can't sleep, it's been 30 minutes. Get up, come sit in a chair, and maybe read a book. And then just tell yourself, oh, it's okay. I'm not stressed. It's just my brain's not ready yet. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I'm going to do something calming, and then I'm going to go back to bed and try again. Number 10, soak and sack out. Or you can just put soak or bath. So you can take a warm shower or a warm bath is a great way to release and relax tense muscles. A lot of you check in on Monday mornings that you have a hard time sleeping, and I hear it from a lot of you that you just have, because you're thinking so much and you're tense and you're thinking about everything and all the pressure of everything, right? Well, a warm shower can signify to your body, oh, it's time to relax. It's not time to worry about that now, right? And it calms your amygdala and your midbrain down, and you're not in fight or flight, and it's time to relax. Number 11, unless it's prescribed to you, either by your doctor or your parents, don't rely on any outside thing to help you go to sleep, anything that you take, right? So maybe there's a drink that calms you down, or some kind of medication that you saw that you want to try. Unless it's prescribed by your doctor or by your parents' doctor, don't try it. try to use your own natural chemicals to go to sleep by using all these sleep hygiene habits. Number 12. This is probably the most important one. Don't catastrophize. Okay, so just write, don't freak out. If you don't want to write catastrophize, just write number 12, don't freak out. So by freaking out because you can't sleep, what are you doing to your brain? You're signaling a perceived threat. Oh, your brain's like, oh, you're freaking out? Oh, I must be scared of something. Maybe there's an enemy somewhere, right? So your brain, there's a part of your brain that's like a wild animal. And it doesn't fully understand what it is you're having emotions about. It just knows that you're having, big emotions. And so it's like, oh, there must be danger, right? So then that gets your system all worked up and in the opposite of going to sleep. So if you can't sleep, just go, it's okay. Brain's not ready to go to sleep. I'll get up. I'll sit down on the floor, sit down on my chair, and I will read for maybe 5-10 minutes. And then I will go try again, and maybe I'll have to try a few times. I'll eventually fall asleep. You can even say that. Eventually, I will fall asleep. I can't stay up forever. Okay? So hopefully you have all those. I'll read through just the words one more time so you can check your list. Number 1, stick to a schedule. Number 2, establish a bedtime routine. Number 3, don't eat or drink a lot before bed. Number 4, avoid caffeine. Number 5, exercise. Number 6, keep your room cool. Number 7, sleep primarily at night. Number 8, keep it dark and quiet, no screens. Number 9, use your bed only for sleep. Number 10, soak and sack out. Number 11, don't rely on pills unless they're prescribed. So maybe we should say it this way, only rely on prescribed medication from your doctor. Number 12, don't freak out. You could write some underlines under that one. Don't freak out about it. Don't catastrophize. It's not the end of the world. You'll eventually go to sleep. Keep that midbrain calm. Like, it's okay. It's not an emergency. Okay? So happy sleep hygiene for all of you. Please pick 2 and practice. And if you find some results, send me an email. I'd love to hear how it worked out. My email is rbates@slvusd.org. See you later.